Bruce, you guys closed out a really difficult, tough game on Monday. This time they closed it out on you. What was the difference between how you guys closed on Monday compared to today?
Um, I feel like on today, like we gave up a lot. We gave up a lot of turnovers, a lot of wide open threes to really good shooters. They're shooting a high percentage right now. So those things down the stretch, you can't let that happen, and it bit us at the end.
What were you after Jackson hit the free throws to put them ahead? You guys had that final possession ended up with a three from you. What are you looking for in that moment? What were you trying? What kind of shot were you trying to get? What were you trying to do for your team there?
I was trying to get the best available shot for our team. Understanding the big man was blocking a lot of shots, altering a lot of shots this game. So me getting all the way to the paint was on my mind. But I feel like I was comfortable shooting that shot, working that shot a million times at practice. Run that play a million times at practice, over and over again. I felt comfortable, but I won't change nothing about it, and I'll shoot it again.
Bruce, it felt like in the second half you guys were getting defensive stops, but you weren't getting like consecutive stops. That's why they were able to, like, maybe it got to 3, then back to 5, then 2. In your perspective, what did you guys struggle with where you couldn't get, like, string together those defensive stops?
Offensive rebounding killed us, and fouling. I feel like those two things right there really hurts, especially when you get in the stops and they get a rebound, you got to restart the whole 30. Then any defense tend to spread out, and when teams try to get downhill, we're fouling. So they put them on the free throw line, then that's the easy way for any scorer or any player that played at a high level to get in the rhythm. And how they get in the rhythm, then they went on their run.
You know, Shelstad had, I think, 23 in the last game. I think he had 24 today. When you guys were watching film and preparing for him, what was your game plan? Like, I guess you had some minutes on him. Junie did. Parrish did. What was your game plan to try to limit him today?
He's a great guard, very fast guard. Not to get to his spots, get his teammates open. So we're trying to neutralize his speed as best we possibly can, because we know what he can do, penetrating and making shots. So we did mess up a couple of times going under, giving him wide open looks, and make him feel comfortable. But we just got to watch the film, make sure we do better next time on the next opponent coming up, and it should be better.
Brought up fouls, and there were a lot of fouls called in this game. What's the message to the guys on the floor, as well as the guys on the bench, like to stay composed throughout the game in a close game like this one?
It's hard, man. This game, basketball, is just a game of runs. There's so much emotion, so it's just a harder time to get your teammates and things like that to hone in on the next play to move on, and to just take the message that I'm trying to explain to him and hold on, because I know how this game goes. It's just runs and flows. So I just know to tell him to stay composed. Like, it's okay. You foul, okay, cool. Like, it's the next possession from the come up, and I can't have you worrying about the last possession because you just fouled. So just keep telling him just to move on and just keep playing, and good things always come along.
Yeah, 2 more. That's right. The high of Monday and then a tough one today. Like, what is that like going through that in the Big Ten, knowing you still got 15 more of these to come? But, like, to think about how good that felt on Monday and then what you must be feeling right now. Like, what is that like emotionally to kind of go on that roller coaster?
Me, I never get too high, never get too low. Especially like in this league, like you just never know what the next game gonna bring. But I always have my mind to win it each and every game I play. That's just my mindset. I'm trying to win my battles, win every game that I play. But we just came up short today. We just know things that we do that it just hurt us. It hurt us and just bit us at the end. So I feel like we just keep going hard at practice, keep understanding, keep putting us in situations and get late game situations, because we're gonna be in more in those situations again and again. Cause I feel like we just have a really good team and really good coaching staff that we're gonna be playing deep in March, and I just feel like we just gotta just learn from it and keep going.
I know Quez is a veteran, and I know John's been playing for a little while now in the starting lineup with Michi being gone. Your stat line looked pretty similar to what it usually is. Junie had 5 turnovers. Quez missed all 6 of his shots. Those guys are still kind of finding their way, it feels a little bit. What are you doing, and how are you trying to, like, make that all work the longer that you guys are playing without Michi?
I feel like they have stepped up plenty of occasions due to Michi being out. I don't feel like them performing today, we still had a chance to win at the end of the day. So, like, it could be a whole different argument on storyline right now if we would have won. But due to that, it's just Junie's different. I told him just stay composed, yo. They can tell him to stay ready. You just never know. Like, you just can't think about the last possession. Because it hunts you down when you think about something and so many multiple other possessions that you could help us that you just thinking of the past. But I just tell Quez to stay ready, yo. Just stay ready because it's just no other guards coming off the bench, but he's the next man up. So I just let him know to stay ready. He didn't play his best today, and like he knows that. I feel like he's gonna be better on the next game.
Get some rest.
Similar question what I just asked Bruce, but like when you built this team, you were going to have two really experienced veteran guards, and I know Quez has experience. He missed all of last year. When you look at what you're getting from those three right now, how much are you maybe feeling the absence of a key part of this team, and what did you see from Bruce trying to kind of carry the load when some of the guys in the backcourt were struggling in ways they haven't really lately?
You know, I think our experience or lack of experience at times is impacting our consistency. But, you know, again, we have to get better. We have to keep growing and getting better. And we're not going to play perfect. I think we can't have self-inflicted, you know, issues though. Like we have to limit those better. And I think that's the part. I mean, you can look at the stat sheet, and I think the eyes on the game can tell you we had multiple guys not play near to what they're capable of, and you know we were in position to beat a top 15 team in the country. So for me, you know, I think I'm optimistic because I think that says where we could get to, but we have to do it very quickly, you know, because I said this before, every single game in this league is hard. Every single game. You are required to bring your best stuff or as close as you possibly can every single game in order to win. At home, on the road, it doesn't matter. And we have some guys who have to embrace that better. I think we understand that. We talk about it. We practice accordingly. But in games, you know, we have to be able to do it better and limit those, whether it's turnovers, defensive breakdowns, things that, you know, we know and work on. We got to limit our mistakes in those areas. This league's hard. You're going to see some things that, you know, maybe you can't prepare for everything. Get beat on those things, I think you can live with those. It's the stuff that, you know, we go over, we practice, we talk about the adjustments, we talk about at halftime, and then when we don't go do them, like that's ultimately, I think, the most frustrating part. But I think experience plays a part in that too. I think the intent of our guys is really good. You know, we gotta grow in that area quickly.
The possession where Bruce gets the three, then they're late. I don't know if you had a timeout at that point.
We had one timeout.
Okay.
Yep.
Did you consider using it? And if not, what are your guys taught to try to do in that kind of situation?
Yeah. So here was my thought process in that. I didn't want them to be able to really fully set up and kind of like with time, their press to slow us down. I felt like a play we've practiced since August, we could get it in and get it up the floor quickly. And, you know, we had Bruce going to his right hand. I like that for us, you know, a lot. And he's been very good in that situation. I had my timeout, felt like if we got leveled off with, you know, 2.5, 3 seconds left, we could use it, set up a end of game, side out of bounds play. So that was the thought process in that, and, you know, certainly didn't go the way we wanted it to.
Looking at Colin's stat line for the night, obviously not much popping up in the stat sheet, but he did give you 11 minutes off the bench, and the plus minus was 10. So obviously he's playing some solid defense on the floor. The team's doing well on the offensive side of the ball. What did you think of Colin's performance tonight, though? I mean, didn't get in the box score in the scoring category. But
I thought he was really good. I agree. I thought Colin was really good, and you know, certainly right now, without going back and watching the film, probably needed to find him another segment. You know, reflecting back on that. So the thing about Colin and his impact, you may not always feel on a stat sheet because if you watch, the ball never sticks with him. The ball's moving. I believe in his shooting. I think it can help us. He's tough. Plays really, really hard. And he and I have talked about it. He's got to grow, and practice is critical for him too in his growth of just being more solid, defensively. I think that's kind of the next progression for him. And so he's improving, certainly. And I think he's going to continue to be more and more valuable to our team.
As we get near the halfway point, you got a few freshmen getting some regular minutes. Speak to their level of play as they've adjusted to the college game.
Yeah, well, specifically, right, Colin and Junie, I think Junie certainly had more opportunity. I think you can put our sophomore class into that same equation because, every single game is helping us grow. We're getting more and more experience. But, again, it's like we need to fight for results, too. So, we're working on, growing and fighting and establishing standard, all of those things, but we're fighting to win, too. And I think you're seeing Sean has consistently showed some real growth. I think Devin lately has been a little up and down, but he's, for the most part this year, been really consistent and productive for us. Aaron, since he's been back, has done some really good things. I think John is did some good things tonight, but there's also still some growth he needs to have as well. And he's certainly not shooting from three as well as we all know he's capable of. To me, it's just a matter of time. He's working, doing everything you should do to earn the right to make shots. So it's just a matter of time. We got to continue to grow. He's got to continue to grow from reading the crowds and the traffic and the shot selection. But I think he's shown tremendous growth. I think Colin's shown tremendous growth. So I think that covers most our freshmen and sophomores. So I think there's been real progress.
And then just one last quick thing. I think Sean
Was brought to my attention. No.
Knowing how hard it is to win on the road in this league, do these last two sting a little extra, knowing that you couldn't cover it here at home, and now you're going to have a couple tough road ones coming up?
Yeah, I think, listen, as we kind of establish who we are and what we're about, we want this place to be really, really tough, one of the toughest places to play in the league. And that says a lot because there's some great environments and tough places to play. Every game, again, in this league, home or road, is really, really hard. We need to close out better at home. This is now the second game. We didn't close out accordingly, at home. Certainly don't want to take anything away from Oregon. But, we did not do – we didn't finish plays well enough. We didn't execute offensive defense well enough to beat a really good team, home or road. But yes, I view the way I view games right now, we are working every single day to grow and get better. And then come game day, it's a 1-0 mentality, home or road for me. Then after the game, we got to get back to growing. We got to be getting better. We got to keep getting ready. And then that game day hits, and it's like we are doing everything we can to be 1-0 that day. So that's how we're approaching this, And yeah, the challenges are mighty on the road in this league. Our next one is one of them. But, I also think we've proven that we can win away from here. We did it, and even as we started to change things at the end of last season, we proved we could do it. So we got 3 wins away from home right now. Is that right? I think 3 wins. So, and we certainly, but home, road, some of the defensive breakdowns we had, right? Some of the empty possessions with our turnovers, it's gonna make it harder, to win. We got to do a better job with those.
And then John Mobley, 4. I think last game he was 4 assists, no turnovers. Today, no assists, 5 turnovers, and you lose by 2. How do you coach him throughout the week through the ups and downs when one game it feels like he makes all the right reads and the next game, 5 turnovers and he's not making smart reads?
Yeah, he's first off, I love coaching him. He's really fun to coach, and he's very coachable. So that's why I'm confident he's going to figure out some of these little things. I think with freshmen sometimes it's harder to make in-game adjustments, right? Because you don't have quite that experience. Now, saying that, he's done it well at times this year. You know, he's done it well. Tonight, you know, we talked about some of the decision-making in the paint and going in there against their size and couldn't quite make those adjustments, you know, as we kept talking about it throughout the course of the game. So, and I think, listen, you know, he's been asked to do a lot too for a freshman. And, you know, to give him credit, I think he's responded well. Hasn't been perfect, certainly, but, you know, he's got to keep fighting to be consistent, and I think he'll continue to grow and do that. I believe in him. I really do. Go ahead. You're good. Yeah, good.
That last foul on Quez that put them back at the line, do you think he did the proper form there, defending the drive there, the last possession? Or I guess what would you like to see him, how would you want him to defend that drive if you don't think he did it properly?
Yeah, live, you know, live, I felt like it looked like he initiated the contact. We'll have to go back and see. I think, you know, again, in that moment, I think it was Bamba maybe that had the layup there at the front of the rim. We didn't make him earn those baskets, and that was disappointing. And we had a very easy opportunity for Devin and Bruce to switch and keep a guy on and make him finish, make him earn it. You know, we didn't make Shellstead earn that one. And you got to make teams earn it, you know, at the end of the game. So Shellstead got an easy look from three like that. When just off the top of my head, those are kind of disappointing moments defensively for us because I felt like we didn't make it. Now we'll go back and watch, but this was a really like decorated and good officiating crew, you know. So I think off the, you know, my initial view, there was contact both ways, you know, from us and them. So I'll go back and look, but I would imagine it felt like the right call in that moment.
You mentioned like the one Shellstead three. I think they hit 4 of their last 5
Yep.
from 3. What were they doing to get? Was it a matter of something they did differently to get open, or was it a matter of you guys not executing and some guys getting shots that you had been taking away?
We after they had hit one and we had built the lead, we adjusted our ball screen coverage to take away some of the threes. I think they got one of them out of a post, might have been a post catch kick out, cross court. If I remember correctly, we were cross matched inside. We didn't rotate and execute the ball screen coverage appropriately to take away one of the threes that Biddle had. So, you know, we adjusted there, and I think, listen, I think that's where experience, you know, and things becomes more and more value, and we have to use this so we don't make that same mistake. And that's to me like this is a result that not the one we wanted or felt like we could have gotten, but like we will not waste this. This will be used to get better, and we got to do that. Like we have no choice but to do that, and our guys got to embrace that. They got to embrace, you know, reflecting, right, growing, and then going out and executing, and we practice. You know, we need to execute, practice, and we need to then, with game pressure, right, and an opponent who may do something you haven't quite seen yet or a wrinkle, we got to stick to our principles and we got to execute like we do in practice. So I think we're getting better at it. You know, again, I'm optimistic because this clearly we did not play near as well as we're capable of, and we, you know, had the number 15 team on the ropes and very easily could have got a different result. So I'm going to choose to look at it that way. Disappointed in the result, certainly, but like there's some really good things ahead for us if we'll continue to grow and get better.
As I look at like the way they closed that game, and then you obviously look at the stat sheet, and their 2 scorers that stand out are Shellstead and Biddle.
Yep.
And so you got their guard and their big guy. When you have a team that has a veteran guard and a veteran big that are both rolling, you guys aren't quite there yet. You've got veteran guards. Your front court hasn't always risen to that same level. How much of a weapon is that when you look at the end and those are the 2 guys that are making threes, those are the 2 guys that are making plays, whereas most of the time for you guys, it's your backcourt.
Yeah, I mean, it's the way we're built. Every team's built differently. I do think Devin's provided, you know, some really big stretches for us in some of those games, so we haven't been completely void of that, you know. And he's got to, you know, I talk about it like the expectations now for you are significantly more than what you've been used to, and there's a great deal of responsibility that comes with that. And he can handle it. He's tough, strong. He can do it. But I think Adam, it wasn't specifically at the end. It wasn't their size inside. It was the ball screen coverage. That ultimately we didn't do a good enough job on. And both guard and big. So, anything else, guys? All right, appreciate it.